In that case, you were all in Nobeoka. You'd arrived the previous night, and Wanshu had taken possession of the goods from Uncle, and you'd stacked them all in his warehouse. He'd offered you room and, well, not room and board, he'd offered you room and somewhere to cook your food, etc. And he wasn't even going to charge you rent for it. Isn't that kind of him?
It has worked for us in 2 days going back there, yeah?
About 3 days he thinks the ship should be in, and he'll have a cargo for Uncle that you can take back down south for him. He can find you work with a couple of the local merchants unloading ships at 2 coppers a day. And considering he's not charging you for board, he thinks he's doing you a good deal. I believe that 2 of you have injuries that need fixing.
Yes.
And Wanshu notices the tears in your clothing from the sharp weapons and offers to see if he can get one of the local girls to repair them for you. Save them dropping down. He'll see whether he can get one of them to do it. He'll probably only charge you 1 copper. We'll see how it goes. They will have to make some skill rolls to. How many cuts was it you took? I think Kosa took about.
I took 2.
I'm just opening up the character sheet thing. It's in pins, isn't it?
I think Kyūryū just took 1.
I have got lethal damage taken 10.
Was that 1 blow?
That was 1 blow.
That was 1 blow. That was a particularly nasty one from that Yari.
Been taken down 1 from some healing. I think it was 11 before.
It was almost max damage from that spearman. Okay, so he will ask if you have spare. You can lounge around in your underwear if you're just resting up healing, but you might be a bit more comfortable in other clothing. If you don't have any, he can kind of sell you some. He does have some on the shelf. He has access to merchant stores.
Yeah, I suppose I better get another set.
Okay. In that case, he will sell you a set for $1. I did actually add the Nobeoka price list to the Google sheet. If you want to have a look on that, open it up, and you should find that there.
Where are we? Present.
Equipment price list. Oh yeah.
Present garb. 5. Yo.
Well, it is town garb, isn't it?
I suppose so. I think. Oh, he's got 100%, so he should have some. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
He
I
does
will
indeed.
purchase some.
Okay. There is an obvious difference between your village garb and this town garb.
I'm looking at some of the weapons on the sheet and see the Kusarigama, the sickle on a weighted chain. Does the engagement range get longer with the longer chain?
Obviously, yes.
So what's the engagement on? What's the column on engagement on this sheet?
It's not going to be there. It's basically a 1 yard will be the equivalent of a short, 2 yard medium, 3 yard long, 4 yard extra long.
Yeah. I'm gonna put this on the stream actually.
But you need to be skilled in Kuzari and Kama if you're going to use a Kuzari Gama.
Ah, so you have to be skilled in both parts of the combined weapon to be able to use it.
The Manriki Kuzari is just a chain. And is it Kuzari Jutsu? I think is the use of a chain weapon.
Yeah, that's something I want to learn. That's the next weapon style I'm going to learn then, is the chain weapons.
Well, get good with what you've got is the recommendation.
Yep. Now, where are throwing stars shuriken? They are here.
Shuriken.
Can I use them?
Do you have shuriken jutsu?
I don't think so.
In which case,
Can I not
you
use
can
them with
throw. You can throw them, but your chance of hitting isn't going to be very good because part of Shuriken Jutsu is getting the pointed bits to hit.
Yeah, I just don't have any long-range weapons in my arsenal at all. I'm just trying to think what I could do to counteract that. Can anybody use a spear? Is it Yari a spear?
Sojutsu is the skill for a spear.
And I don't have that either, do I?
Nope.
Yep, okay, well, yeah, I'm the hand-to-hand fighter, it's fine. I'll stick with... I'm going to later learn maybe Shuriken Jutsu, I think.
Okay. Righty-ho, so you're buying one set of peasant garb, yes?
Yes, I am.
Kosa?
Yes,
Okay.
I've taken the money off you.
Jolly good.
Just going to check my sheet and see. I think I've got a spare set of peasant garb. Equipment doesn't say. Oh wait, down here, yeah, peasant garb. No, I've got one, so I don't have a spare set.
In that case, might be an idea to get another set.
Yep, okay, so that was... Wait, Buddhist robes, I'm more likely to wear them than actual peasant garb. Haven't I?
Are you a Buddhist?
I think so, yeah. And I'm going down that whole Shaolin monk route, so I'm more likely to dress like that, I think.
What were... Maybe I misunderstood. Never mind.
Well, if you are going to become a Buddhist, then you need to adopt pious Buddhist beliefs.
So we can go over that. I'm into that.
It might be an idea to learn some Bushido, some Buddhist theology, and talk to priests about what is involved in
Right,
becoming
so-
a pious
So there
Buddhist.
should be more studying done first. Okay, I will buy a second peasant garb for now then. So cost is 2 copper, right?
No, it's 2 copper in Hanamishisu.
Oh, alright, okay, what's it here?
Given you're in a town, it's a much superior sort of peasant garb. One shoe tells you.
Alright, so so it is. And what is it then? 3?
It's 5.
Shut up.
And that's a rip-off.
I'll stick with 1. I'm a humble monk. I do not need a spare set of clothes. I will stick with my 1 then in that case. I am not being ripped off by this guy.
He kind of looks a bit disgruntled at being accused of ripping you off.
He can be disgruntled.
Let me just hang on a second. Let me just double check something. I've got a horrible feeling I might have got something wrong there. There, that's the one I wanted.
Just be humble to the point where you got nothing.
Right, so D. No, that is correct actually.
He wants 5 and they're normally worth 2.
It's 5. It's 2 if you buy them in a village, because that's basically truly peasant garb. Yeah, this is more townsfolk garb, but you're still regarded as peasants. Just townsfolk regard themselves as somewhat superior to the
Okay.
rubes from the
So
country.
it's medieval Japanese for wind your neck in. Because that's what he's getting told.
Try not to upset the
Very,
guy too much. I mean,
yeah, very Buddhist here, you know.
I'm not decided if I'm a Buddhist yet. He might get a slap. They might know.
Well, don't forget, Buddhists are self-effacing. They believe in calmness above all else. Yes. Tell that to a Yamabushi monk.
Yeah.
Quite.
Well, we've not decided yet, so no. But I'm not paying 5 copper pieces for peasant garb. No, thank you.
Okay, well, if you kind of stay in your underwear, he will send your clothes out for washing to get the blood out and see if they can mend the rips so that it doesn't degrade the quality of the clothing.
I'm pretty sure I had previously bought a spare set because my first set got ripped. No, I just got rid of the ripped set and bought one more set, didn't I?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
The merchant in the village to the north kindly took that other set off your hands.
That's right.
Disposed of it for you.
I've got a spare set of underwear.
Took it round the back and got one of the peasant women to stitch it up and put it back on the shelf for sale to the next seller.
Didn't even bother washing it.
Oh, no, I had to wash it.
Right, let me see. How much money have I got? Where is that on my list?
Up at the top.
Top. Oh yeah, right. I will give him 4. You can have 4.
Well, he goes into all sorts of panegyrics of how wonderful this clothing is. It was made by a noted lady in the town. She's extremely skilled. She actually does work for the daimyo's household. Do you realise? And then he rolls his merchant skill to see whether he manages to persuade you.
If he manages to lie or not.
Yeah, at the end of the day, the persuade still comes down to me. That's up to me, like.
Well, you are actually convinced that it's worth all of 6 copper. The quality of it. You hadn't realised how much work had gone into this.
Okay. Well, I'm not convinced I can afford
do you have merchant skill? You can attempt to get more effect numbers than him.
I don't believe I do have merchant skill.
In which case, his skillful rhetoric and descriptive text has impressed you so much that at the moment you're tempted to actually pay more than he'd originally asked for, because you're convinced he's undersold it to you.
Right.
But you get to make a will saving throw to avoid finally being convinced,
right.
and to revert to the original price that he asked for.
Let me get the dice back.
So you need a will saving throw.
Okay, so it's D20. Yeah, there you go.
And what's your will?
I don't know.
Your will saving throw?
2 must be a success.
A 2 is a success. You realise that possibly he had oversold it somewhat, but it's available for the original price.
Okay, I'll give him the 5 then. Whoa, what a carry on.
Can't beat a professional haggler.
I tried. Right, so go back to my.
He's a true nephew of Uncle.
Yes, and it almost paid you more than the 5. You thought about it.
Well, if you want to haggle with a merchant, he's quite prepared to haggle. But you must be prepared to lose the haggling.
Yes, I'll just pay the going price.
See, when I've on my sheet, when I've put the peasant garb from 1 to 2, has it automatically, the weight, has that automatically changed from 1 to 2, or should I be changing that from 2 to 4?
It might be an idea to have one set of peasant garb on the row saying worn, and then down below put another set of peasant garb carried. Because you don't want to be wearing 2 sets of peasant garb. It'll double the weight that you're using, kind of carrying in combat.
Yeah.
Okay?
So I've not got it in my armour tag anyway, so I'll leave one in the clothing and put one up into armour, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Got you.
Okay. He will inquire as to whether the rest of you would like to buy town garb. It might avoid some sort of some nastiness, confrontation. Townsfolk tend to look down a bit on the country folk. It's unfortunate, but some of them are like that. Me, I think everybody's a wonderful person to sell to. But can I interest you all in some?
No, thank you. I've already got several spare sets.
Very good, very good.
Still just works out like I said, David, because I can't put it into the armour thing. It's not in the options. So I'm just trying to put one down into the general equipment. It's not in the options there either.
What are you trying to do?
Clothing. Put it under clothing.
I've just got peasant garb and 1.
Yeah.
I've just got 2 there. Is there a different place to? There's one.
I've just put it on a separate
There's
row.
one worn and there's one. close or in baggage. Yeah, there. So I put an X there. Right, got you. Found it. It's another column. So I put an X in that column as well. One's worn.
Correct.
One's got you. Sorry, folks, for holding you up.
Oh,
Go
no
ahead.
problem. No problem. Right. Well, you've actually got peasant garb 1. So if you put peasant garb down at the bottom of your
Another one, yeah.
another one, and then you put the X there, and get rid of that X there. So you're wearing one set of peasant garb, and there's another one gone out. Right, that poor set is no longer poor because that is currently out for repair.
Yeah.
Okay. And when it comes back tomorrow, see how they've done on the repair. Okay, so you settle down for the night. He actually produces a little bit of sake that you can have with your rice. If you would care to knock off, if you've not already done so, knock off a parcel of rice and fish from your supplies.
Where's supplies on this sheet? Supply equipment.
Right. I was wondering.
Traveller's food parcel.
Yeah, so you just take that from 10 down to 9.
Correct.
Thank you.
I was wondering as well, since
Mine says 1 day of rice and dried fish, but I don't eat fish, so can I change that?
Well, it'll be dried vegetables if you want,
yeah.
but that is the text that I've got associated with
Okay,
it.
I'll
Don't
just,
worry
yeah,
about
so
it.
Just leave it. Okay, that's fine.
Leave it as it is.
Yeah.
So it's traveller's food parcel. It's just whatever you have for the day. So it'll be rice with added vegetables.
Yes.
Okay. A few cashew nuts, that sort of thing.
Yum.
Okay, you settle down for the night. A peaceful night is had by all. And the following day, Hachiro attempts to treat your wounds before he goes out for a wander around the town. I believe Hachiro had said he was going to wander the town and look and see what was available in terms of shrines, temples, schools, that sort of thing.
That's what I said, that I wanted to do the same as well. Ichijō.
Okay, fine. In that case, his physician's skill is 12, so I will roll for him. He will attempt to make 2 physician rolls, 1 on Kosa, yes, and
Hey,
1 on Kyūryū.
Oh.
No, unfortunately. But Kyūryū, I think, is less injured and will get better in. You'll both get better in 2 days.
Get better in 2 days, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And there's no risk of your wounds going septic because he treated them immediately after the fight. Very well. So, Kinzo is venturing forth onto the docks. Wonshu will take you along to one of the merchant's godens, and there's a group of porters assembled there waiting to be offered work. Eventually the merchant comes out with his foreman, and the foreman looks over the group and calls out a number of names, looks over at Wonshu, who kind of gestures in Kinzo's direction. And he calls Kinzo over by name. Hey, you. And you are given a day's employment on the docks, hoiking cargo about.
Lovely.
I'm afraid you do get various comments about peasants from the countryside coming in and taking jobs from proper townsfolk's mouths, etc. But I'm sure you can put up with that for a day and 2 coppers, can't you?
Well, yes.
The foreman keeps control. It doesn't descend into into fisticuffs or anything. It's just a bit of a nasty aftertaste. They don't like you being muscling in on their work, and they can't understand why you were given the job. You're obviously not as strong as they are.
Yeah.
Back in the warehouse, I believe Ichijō and Hachiro are deciding to go out for a walk. So,
Yeah.
So let's see. So Kinzo is off for the day. So, hang on a second, let's put me on the token layer. So Kinzo is off for the day. Kosa and Kyūryū are resting for the day
Resting and healing.
on their beds.
I don't remember if I did or if I was planning on taking some skill in massage. Did I do that? Dave, do you remember?
Have a look on your sheet.
So where will
According to your sheet, you do have some skill in massage.
Yeah, so the other thing I was thinking, right? What
Yep.
was what was the manual skill I had? Was it building or was it woodwork or it was something like that?
You took farming and cooking.
And cooking, farming and cooking, right? So I'm wanting to combine. Is there something like woodworking or making things with wood? Because I'm thinking of the self-sufficient monk who crafts things like picture self-massaging things, you know, like a big long wooden stick with two balls on the end and you roll it over your own back. So picture a guy that builds things like to do like self-massaging techniques, and he builds these wooden contraptions for self-massage. So can I combine another skill with massage later? Is there something like woodwork? I'm just thinking about his kind of his vibe like later, like what the different things he's going to learn. Is that going to be a thing?
There are various types of practical arts associated with wood.
Yeah.
You have carpentry,
Yep.
and carpentry is... Hang on a second. Let me just compress that. Dumpty 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 dum.
And the question about massage is, can I use that to speed up our healing? Well, is it, I guess, if I've not...
Massage is useful for speeding up healing from subdual damage, and it can be used to help with critical wounds, that sort of thing. But physical damage, you need physician.
Yeah, so it's
Okay,
help him.
carpentry covers the assembly of complex items from wood. So that's things like making tables, making a chest of drawers. So it's more complex items.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to take my other, like, craft skill in. I'm going to take some carpentry, combine that with massage and build self-massage contraptions.
Woodworking is turning raw materials directly into useful items like spoons and bowls and so on. So effectively it's
Like
wood turning, not
yeah.
much complexity. And then you've got building, which is erecting structures made from wood. So you've got 3 levels of skill in woodwork. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, so going back to the day, we have one shoe is in and out all day, so Ichijō and Hachiro are going to wander out, a look around town. Okay, as described, Nobeoka it's a big town. Well, it's as big as you've seen anyway. There's 3 main districts within the walls. There's the samurai district, there is a craftsman district, and there's a general district. The docks are effectively outside the walls because they're accessible from the river. So therefore, there is a wall dividing them from the rest of the town, which can be guarded. And access is controlled through the gate from the docks. There are a large number of buildings outside the town because it's outgrown its walls. So as you wander around the town, all the crafts, etc., that you'd expect to see in a town of this size seem to be present, but there's fewer manual worker type buildings. The majority of the people living within the walls are the higher end of the scale. If you wander out of the gates to the west, you'll see that the majority of the buildings out there are where the day workers and the porters and the lower manual workers live. So obviously the price of living in the town has got too much for. To the south of the town, the river runs north-south, and the northwest-southeast.
Have you got a map, David?
I can move you back to the main map. Okay, so the town lies against the river, which runs northeast, northwest, southeast. To the south of the town, adjacent to the river, is the Etta village. Well, it's actually almost a small town in itself. And they deal with all the nasty jobs. Dead bodies, tanning, dyeing of clothes, everything smelly and dirty is given to the Etta to do. To the west of the city, to the southwest of the city, is where the majority of the overspill population is now. Because when you go to the northwest of the city, you actually find that the daimyo has building work underway. His citadel is in the western corner of the city, and effectively he's starting to extend the walls of the city to the northwest. Looking at it, he's extending the wall along the river, and he's extending the wall furthest away from the river. So you've no idea how far to the northwest he's planning on going, but width-wise, it's the same width as the existing city. So he may be looking to almost double the size of the city. Sorry, town. There are a large number of people working on the construction. They've cleared. There used to be an overspill village on the northwest of the city, but that's been much reduced. The daimyo's men have cleared out a lot of the structures, and you would guess they've probably moved to the southwest of the city. But the two walls are currently under construction. Peasant workers are digging out the foundation, laying concrete in the bottom and mortar as foundations for stone, and there are stone blocks being laid to build up the walls. It looks to you as though it's been going on for some time. You'd have no real idea how long it's been going on for, but everything seems to be progressing in an orderly manner. Okay. Wandering into the city itself and having a look through the various districts, you come across a fair number of important buildings. Let me just go to that. And there are 3 temples in the town, and also 3 shrines. Let me just get their names up. You have the Temple of the Dragon at Peace, which is a very large temple. If you talk with the locals there, the abbot is Kurosaki Santo, and there are 8 assistant priests serving in the temple as well. There's a board up at the gate saying that classes are being taught this week in Bushido by Kamawa Migoto, who's a master, and in meditation by Dashoku, who's also a master. There are classes next week on Bushido given by Murasama Kumon, and a master class in Chinese classics by Kamichi. There is another temple, the Kozanji, and the abbot is Genjaku, who has 3 assistant priests. Sorry, I got that wrong. The classes in Butsudo and meditation were by masters at the Temple of the Dragon at Peace, and the Butsudo and masterclass in Chinese classics were at the Kozanji Temple next week. It's too late to join in classes this week, so they haven't bothered putting them. The last temple is relatively small. It's the Rose Temple, run by Abbot Yoyaku. And next week, one of his 2 assistant priests, Ikamashu, is giving a class in Butsudo. There is a large Shinto shrine, the Harvest Blessings Shrine, run by Kanushi Shokudo, who has 6 assistants, and one of them, Numachi, is giving a masterclass in Shinten next week. The Safe Return Shrine is run by Kanushi Ippaku, who has 2 assistant priests, and no classes are scheduled for next week. And the Burning Flower Shrine is relatively small, run by Kanushi Moshimasu, and he's the only person at that particular shrine. So you have 3 Buddhist temples, 3 Shinto shrines. You also find 5 schools. The Flower of Hayuga School is a gentleman's academy run by Sensei Jinbo Nagamoto, who has 10 staff. It is a large school. It is right up against the citadel, so it's obviously has the daimyo's approval. And Sensei Jinbo Nagamoto is running a masterclass in Jitjutsu next week. Ikeda Tsunioki is running a masterclass in Boya. And Aochi Shigetsuna is running a masterclass in Sojutsu. There is a martial school, the Rice Harvest School, run by Sensei Soma and his 6 assistants. Asano is teaching a masterclass in Chikujo Jutsu, Siege Warfare, next week. Imagawa Ujizane is running a masterclass in Bajutsu, and Haga is running a masterclass in Kyūryū. The Art of Go is a fine arts school run by Sensei Ikeda Sen and his 6 assistants. And Naoi Kagetsuna is running a masterclass in the theory of the School of Wood. And Enya is running a class in Chinese classics. What will interest the martial artists among you is the Moving Wave School, run by Sensei Tsuchimikado, which is truly a martial arts school.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Did we say that me and was it Kinzo were not here, and we are just in the place resting, so we're not out in the city,
you are back in the warehouse.
Because all this sounds awesome, and I'm thinking I'm not seeing any of this, eh? Is that right?
No, but Ichijō and Hachiro can report it all when they get back.
Cool. Just checking.
Yeah.
I mean, Hachiro will actually write some notes down on this. Seeing somebody teaching the School of Wood, possibly they might teach the School of Fire as well. Anyway, at the Martial Arts School, the sensei is teaching a masterclass in Kamajutsu. Ogawa is teaching a masterclass in Atemiwaza. And there are classes in Kamajutsu and Jojutsu being run by the teachers Wada and Daiduji. And finally, the Dawn of Time School is another fine arts school run by Sensei Chosokabe Mochichika. And Takenaka is running a masterclass in Hiragana next week. And Buju is running a masterclass in Prana Yoga next week. So, Nobeoka is a really big city, and there are masses of schools and more schools and shrines and temples than you can shake a dog.
Another one of those martial art classes really piqued my interest. Atemiwaza. Now, Atemiwaza, remind us which one that is.
That's the karate lookalike.
Yeah, because I've got that in jiu-jitsu, so I'm the hand-to-hand fighter. I really would be interested in that Atemiwaza when the guys come back and tell us about that.
Well, that's next week. You are actually only. Hang on a second. I did that. Let me get back and move that to there. And
Another question.
yes.
Is there a limit to like how many things I can learn? Can I just jump into any class, spend the time learning it, and I've then got some skill in that? Is there a limit?
The difficulty you have is that it takes money to learn things. It also
And
takes time,
Yeah.
and it also takes your ability to learn.
Mm-hmm.
You will normally learn at your at a given rate. If you learn more skills than you have freely improvable skills, and if you have a look on your character sheet, you will find where are we? Just below your characteristics, you will see freely improvable skills on row 15.
Yep.
And that is the number of skills that you can train in. After that, any learning will be halved.
So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I've got 9 of those currently. So I've got another 2
Well,
that
at the
are freely
present
improvable.
at the present moment, if you look at your skills, you have all those that you have been taught from scratch. That's what you've picked up. Those that have an FIS in the freely improvable
are a
skill
freely
column,
improvable skill.
those are ones that you have trained in after the initial teaching. So at the present moment, you've used 2 of your freely improvable skills, and those are locked in as a Temiwaza and Jujutsu. If you train in another skill, then you would add an FIS, and that would count against your total. But at the present moment, you have 9 other skills that you could choose to train in. Okay?
Which include these ones that I've got, like farming, cooking, massage. As soon as I start training in them, they become FIS skills.
Correct.
We got you.
Yep.
Put this back on the screen for a minute.
Okay? I mean, you may choose never to increase your category. You may think that your skill of 11 in popular dance is all you need to get the girl at the Harvest Festival. But that's entirely up to you.
Kyūryū has no interest in girls.
We shall draw a veil over. Very good. So,
He has no interest in boys either. That's not what I meant.
I said I was drawing a veil over that subject.
He has no interest in any of that kind of shenanigans. He is a self-disciplined machine.
I mean, you can still be interested and still be self-disciplined, but sure.
Okay.
No.
Anyway, getting back to the wanderers around town. Do Ichijō and Hachiro wish to do anything else besides just see what schools there are? There are, of course, craftsmen in the craftsman's quarter, but you're probably not that interested in what they do until you can afford to buy what they're selling.
When you went through all the different martial arts and things like that, there weren't any Kinzo schools, were there? That I missed.
There was a gentleman's academy, which teaches the skills needed by gentlemen, which they do. I mean, you can inquire as to whether or not they do teach at the academy. Do you wish to do that?
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for mostly. So yes.
Okay. So, you stop at the Flower of Hayuga School. Do you wish to you inquire as of the pupil sitting in the entrance gate, what they have available in terms of skills? And let's see. Are you just interested in those that they have masters in, or are you interested in all the skills they can teach? There are 55 kind of skills that are on their books as being teachable.
Okay.
At the school. If you're only interested in those that there is a master in, well, 35 of those have a master, one or more masters in the school.
Right.
Kenjutsu being one of them.
Okay, because the Kinzo is the primary thing that I'm looking for to get training within. So,
Of course, every true gentleman is a master of Kenjutsu, intones the pupil, and then gets a clip round the ear from a more senior pupil standing behind him, whispers something in his ear, and he then retires, and the more senior pupil takes up position at the gate. Yes, true gentlemen are always interested in improving their skills in Kenjutsu, he says.
could I speak to your master then in that case of Kenjutsu?
So that would be Radamaside. Right. So he looks at the board on the wall. And would you care to make a status roll to try and persuade him that you are worthy of the time of the master?
Alright. So I've got 25 status. What does that mean for my roll?
Your global status is 15. Okay, your personal status is 25. Applying it to the outside world, you are either a member of the farming caste or you are a bushi at the moment, and therefore your global status as a bushi is 15. So your BCS would be 3. So roll a d20 and see how many positive or negative effect numbers you get.
Oh, okay.
Sadly, the master is busy this week. You reply, well, actually, he does need to roll. He might roll a 20. No. Sadly, the master is busy this week. He bows politely, abjectly apologetic that, unfortunately, he's not available to meet with you.
Very well. Seems like I would have to come back here at another time.
Well, the school is always open for those willing to.
You could try to get Kenjutsu training at the Rice Harvest. That's a martial school, and it just teaches martial skills like Kenjutsu and that.
Well, I assumed that he was going to visit the Rice Harvest School next. Would that be correct?
Yeah, in the schools that teach Kenjutsu here nearby, I
Okay.
would want to visit.
Well, the biggest school is the Flower of Hayuga School, which is a gentleman's academy, and therefore has the most tutors. As far as the Rice Harvest School, yes, that is a martial school and teaches the main martial abilities, and there are indeed 2 masters of the school.
Did they have any set up
And
courses?
unfortunately, as soon as you ask there, both of them are busy this week.
Right.
If you look on the wall, you can actually see that there is a plaque showing the sensei and the various teachers. And it tells you that at the present moment, one of the teachers is free. The sensei and 3 of the teachers are busy on school business or personal business, and the 2 junior and 2 of the teachers are running classes. And they're running classes in master classes in Jitojutsu and Boya this week.
May I ask them if they know when one of the masters will be back?
Let's see. Next week, no, the Sensei Soma and Oda are both busy next week. They do have other. I mean, all their teachers are able to teach the skill of Kenjutsu, and most of them are near master status. There are 2 true masters, the Sensei himself and Oda.
It might be worth talking to one of them then, just to see. Because when it comes to training the rate, they still improve quite a bit, don't they?
Oh yes. Providing the higher their skill, the better. But
Right.
if they are a master, then that will help your learning rate up. Of course, you could pay for personal tuition rather than joining our class, because basically they publish their schedule of scheduled classes, and you can join those at normal rate.
Well, I'm sorry to say that I can't pay 1 silver per day, so...
Okay. But basically you have, in this town, you've got a gentleman's academy, a martial school, a martial arts school, and 2 fine arts schools. So there's a fair selection of training available.
But if I would then speak to one of these non-masters but still teachers in Kenjutsu.
Teacher Asano is free this week. Let's see at his skills. That. So you wish to speak to Master Asano?
Yes.
Okay. The student will consider your reason for speaking to him. Make a status roll to convince him.
Why now?
I'm sorry. He rolled a 15. If you'd rolled anything reasonable to speak to him, but unfortunately, not this time.
Absolute nobody. Yeah, that's how it goes.
Unlucky, mate.
Never mind.
Yeah, come back another time and hope for the best.
Come back another time.
Try again tomorrow.
Yeah.
Great mustache.
Okay, so you return back to the warehouse, having you're having bulged out your eyes, having resisted the wonderful aromas from the sellers of street food, etc. Or do you want to resist? I mean, you can spend some copper and buy some delicacies that you can't get in your home village.
No, I mean, to be honest, I feel like at this point I'm just gonna, walk back home depressed, possibly passing by the docks, seeing if I can pick up a job there for the week.
Didn't even bring any street food back for the gang. You were out in the big city, didn't grab any street food for the boys that are back healing up their injuries from defending you from bandits. Okay, I'll remember that.
Defending me from bandits. Yeah, I mean, if you could convince the people at any of these schools to actually train me, then I will gladly bring you back all the food you want.
I'm afraid that Nobeoka fried chicken is probably bad for people recovering. So fast food's probably not a good idea. It's much better eating your healthy rice and fish. And it's a lot cheaper as well.
Yeah, before we head back to it, but didn't... sorry, I forgot your name. The man I was with as well. Didn't he want to take a look at the schools?
Ichijō.
Yes.
Oh, well, he's had inquired at the fine arts school as to whether they teach any of the other schools of magic. And he will also attempt to convince the student that, and the student will. No, the student doesn't think one of the masters is free at the moment, but he will confirm that yes, they do have a master in the school of metal as well. I believe. Let me just double check.
This is Hajiro, Richard's character, our mage, right?
Correct.
Yeah, cool.
School of Metal. Yes, they do in fact 2 masters in the School of Metal. Purely from a theoretical viewpoint. Knowing what these wizards are up to is obviously important. The theoretical underpinnings of their beliefs. From which Hachiro gathers that there is not a Shugen residence at the school. And when he checks at the other fine arts school, no, there's no Shugenja in residence there either. but they also, the sensei there is also a master school of metal. As you walk, if you talk generally to the students, you get the impression that the schools have been long established. This has been the daimyo's principal domain for the last 20 years, and he's encouraged the growth of schools and temples and shrines in the city. And they obviously provide training to him and his family and staff and garrison. So there is a reason why there's so much in the way of training available in Nobeoka. Which is probably what you would expect from such a massive town. Tim and Nick, I think, are just kind of sitting in the back fuming whenever I talk about Nobeoka being a massive town. Anyway, back at the warehouse.
I'm not doing that at all, because to my character, it is a huge town.
Yes. Okay, when you get back to the warehouse, the two guys are going stir crazy. They demand to hear everything about where you've been, what you've seen. Kinzo returns at the end of the day, 2 copper richer and aching in his limbs, but with the pleasure of job well done and compliment from the. Actually, you do get a compliment from the foreman. Let's see, was he impressed?
No.
No, you're given your 2 copper. But he wasn't particularly impressed. You just did what he expected.
He didn't buy you lunch.
That's all right. I wasn't expecting anything special. Anyway, I'll tell him I'll be back tomorrow.
Well, that's up to the master.
Healing rate is 4. That means I heal 4 a day without any aid, yeah?
No, I shall be back. Whether I get a job or not tomorrow, well, that's up to the master, but I shall be back.
Very well. Okay, healing rate is 4. You get, if your healing rate is 4, then you get 4 plus 2 for the fact that you've been resting up in reasonably good accommodation. You don't get another one because of Hayuga. So you get 6. You get 6 better.
6 lethal damage off for the day.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Nice. Let's be down to 3 now. I wouldn't need another full day's rest. Really, I could get some work in the next day. I reckon.
You won't heal anything back if you do. There's a chance you might open your wound up again.
Right. Okay. So I definitely won't go out doing work. I might get out into the town though.
You'll get reduced healing if you're not resting.
Yeah, but okay. Maybe I'll just rest.
Okay. And I think Kosa gets better 7. Correct?
Yep, that's correct.
Okay. So if you'd all care to knock another rice off for tonight, and does Kyūryū wish to attempt to improve the quality of the meals slightly?
Yes. Give me just a second to find my traveller's food parcel. Take that down to 8 now, yeah? And my cooking final BCS is 8.
Okay. In that case, try and make your BCS.
Roll a d20. Hey!
Yes!
Nice meal tonight, boys.
The quality of the meal is improved.
Nice.
And I believe you've probably just voted yourself as cook for the expedition.
Yep, sounds like it to me.
Yep. Wonshu will chip in some more sake for you all tonight. As I say, it's not great quality, but it's better than water. Okay. Following day, again, Wonshu asks if you want him to take you along to the merchant. You know, he
yes,
knows
please.
him, and he did put in a good word for you yesterday. Does Ichijō wish to go along? He doesn't ask about Hayuga.
Yeah. I actually was thinking that since I've got some skill in fishing, I might just do that if that's allowed.
Have you got fishing equipment?
I do.
Well, Wanshu will have a word with the merchants and see if you can fish off his dock.
So we can get a fishing
Okay.
permit, you mean? How much that's going to cost them?
No. Wanshu, you are guests of Wanshu. He will attempt to see whether or not he can get you a spot on the docks. It's no skin off the merchant's nose. So, okay, he takes you both along to the Godin, and Kinzo is hired again.
I shall point out to Ichijō that these guys here can be very rude.
That's why I'll be sitting here fishing all day instead.
They still might pick on you if you're not careful.
I've got an idea about some light work that I might be able to do. That I might still count as resting. Is there anywhere? Does he have a vegetable garden where I can maybe just do a little light weeding or something for him? Not expecting paying, just to have a little skill in farming, so just something I could do rather than just sitting on my arse for the whole day.
Wanshu looks at you. This is the docks. The most anybody might have here is there's no space for vegetables or anything like that.
Okay. Sitting on my bum it is.
Maybe respond to the idea that people might be coming to pick on Ichijō by saying that, well, if they try anything, then I'll just have to teach them that they should.
Can I have a wit saving throw from both Kyūryū and Kosa?
Yep.
3.
Is that a wit saving throw for you, Kosa? Kyūryū?
I'll be looking. Wit is space saving throw is 5. Yeah.
Okay.
I just failed mine.
That's fine, because Kyūryū mentions, well, once you left you as kind of got a water pot in there, but you're both actually drinking a lot more than you would normally expect. I mean, you were laying there all day yesterday, and been laying here today, and you've both been drinking a fair bit more than you'd expect. The air seems particularly dry in here.
Okay, I guess so. If he's got goods, want them to get damp, does he?
Yeah.
What sort of goods has he got in anyway? As a matter of interest.
Well, this the valuable stuff. You hang on a second. Let's just move you back to the shed.
I'm not going to go around poking around. I'm just looking while I'm getting around stretching.
Might.
Well, the goods that you brought are basically in his locker over there. There's some bags of well, they look like they've got some sort of powder or flour or something in over there, stacked up against the wall. If you wander over and have a look, there's an odd smell to it, and it does seem very dry.
Like gunpowder.
No, you've come across the smell before, but wit saving throw again.
Okay.
See if you recognise it.
No.
Kosa?
Nope.
No. You've come across it before, but you don't recognise it. Okay. So
it is something edible. I take it.
No. Doesn't smell edible.
Yeah. Does it smell strong? Does it smell potent? Although not edible.
No, it doesn't smell like anything edible.
No,
that's not what you don't associate that with food. It's with something.
Yeah, I'm thinking of like opium or something like that. Something dodgy.
Yeah, it could just be some dye or something. I don't know what it is.
Possibly. Okay. So, Kinzo is off earning his 2 copper, And Wonshu takes Ichijō along to one of the docks, has a word with the foreman on the dock, and explains that Ichijō's going to try and fish. And if he catches anything, then first fish will be for the foreman on the dock, and the Ichijō can keep the rest. Is that a fair deal?
So, wait. Did you say how much goes to the foreman?
Well, the first fish you get goes to the foreman. The rest you can keep.
It sounds reasonable. I mean, I don't know how good at I am or how much fish there is, but yeah, let's go for that.
Watch him catch one huge one and then loads of tiny ones.
Well, I don't know who's looking, so I'm gonna say this tiny one was the first one I caught, and then I keep the big one.
Hey.
Lie? Okay. So, looking at the campaign rules for fishing. 1 second while I just... Basically, you can try and use your skill to spend a full day. So if you spend a full day, you'll catch a number of fish measured in rations. 1 day's eating for 1 man. Okay? So it's normally the effect number of your BCS roll plus 2d3. However, this is not an area of good fishing. There's a lot of noise and so on around the docks. It is countered by the fact that there is more junk thrown into the river, so there is more food for the fish. So you get a plus and a minus, and at the end of the day they average out. So if what you need to do is roll an effect number of your BCS and then add 2d3. So roll an effect number, roll a d20 against your BCS in fishing.
E.
It's a 4, my BCS is 8.
Nice.
Okay, so you rolled 4, so your effect number is 0, then add 2d3, and that's how many fish you catch. We'll assume 1 fish is 1 man's rations for them. So you catch 2 fish.
Unlucky.
Yeah.
And you've got to give the first one to the chief.
Well, it's you caught 2 fish. It's better than nothing. And so you surrender 1 to the foreman on the dock, but you have 1 to take back for Kyūryū to chop up and add to the meal.
It's having a much
At least say net 0 for the day.
anyway.
Yeah.
Although Kyūryū won't actually cook it, will you?
No, I'll cook it for the rest of the guys. I don't eat it though.
Okay, fine. So your beliefs are not that all life is sacred. It's just that you personally won't eat it.
I do kind of believe that all life is sacred, but I also understand that I've got to feed the guys, and they're useless at cooking, and I've got to do it, so somebody has to do it for them.
Okay.
Yeah. I do consider my own life quite sacred as well, so I need to eat. I mean.
Okay. Right. So that evening, Kinzo returns, 2 copper richer. Ichijō returns, 1 fish richer.
Right.
Basically, one of you need not deduct a ration for tonight, because Ichijō has got a day's ration worth of food.
And we heal.
And you heal.
So I'm down to 0 lethal damage now.
Okay. Wonshu returns, hands out the sake, and says he actually has a job for you for tomorrow if you're interested.
Ooh.
Which pays 3 copper. It's a bit of a dirty job.
3 each.
But yeah, 3 each.
5 of us. Right, come on now, what's this job?
Basically, he's got a bulk load of cement coming in, and it needs shoveling into bags. like those over there, he says, pointing over at the bags against the south wall.
All right. I mean,
it's
Which explains why Kosa and Kyūryū were feeling rather dry. The cement in those bags is obviously sucking any moisture out of the air.
But so we've only got one more day here before we're leaving on a job, so we need to fill a day with something, don't we?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll help out with that as well.
I'll take a 3 copper
Yeah,
wage
okay,
for a
why
day's
not?
work.
Okay. He would suggest that you take a bag and just wear your loincloth, do the work, and shove your clothes in the bag, and then you can jump off the jetty to wash yourselves off afterwards, because it's a very dry and dusty job. He will provide you with masks to stop you getting the stuff in your lungs, etc. But this stuff has to be bagged reasonably quickly, otherwise, if it's left out in the open, it might go off. Okay.
Yep.
You settle down for the night, and the following morning, once you will take those of you willing to work for a day shoveling cement down to one of the warehouses, and there is a big tub full of cement. It's basically not so much a tub. If you think of half a water tank, rectangular tank filled with cement. It's high at one end, low at the other, and you basically have a set of bags, a set of shovels, and you've got to fill the bags and then sew them shut with twine.
Okay.
If you think furoshiki sacks, which you just seal up after you're done, he suggests Hachiro might be best suited to sealing the bags up.
Yes.
More dexterous with his fingers, perchance, than handy with his muscles.
Yeah, probably not too good with the shovel.
Ichijō is your muscle here.
Okay, and you duly spend the day hoiking cement, filling bags with it, Hachiro showing them shut.
Does it count as a day's strength training?
No. Every so often, a door at the end of the warehouse opens, and a guy rolls a wheelbarrow of cement in up a plank to the top end of the tank and tips it in, and it then slumps down towards you so you can fill some more bags.
Lovely.
Muscles feeling good after a day of that?
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's not a very nice job. You've earned your 3 by the end of the day.
2 days rest and my muscles were getting soft, so I'm grateful for it.
Yeah. Okay.
So
can I have
copper to my money?
Wait a second.
Oh, okay.
Can I have a wit saving throw from you all? And somebody can roll for Hachiro. And just tell me what the effect number is.
I got a 4, Hachiro got a 6.
Ichijō got an 11.
-4, Gozer.
I'm not paying attention.
So I made my saving throw, and I rolled a 6 for
Okay.
our missing character.
Well, Hachiro has a wit saving throw of 8, so he made his by 2. How many did you make yours by, Kyūryū?
So I rolled a 4, and my save is wit 5. I made it by 1.
Okay. In that case, Hachiro notices, but you don't.
Is it against base or raw?
It's against your base saving
Yeah, so
throw.
I made it by 1.
Okay. Hachiro made it by 2, which is not really surprising considering he's higher wit. But when the guy isn't in the room, he whispers to the rest of you to say that he caught a glimpse of somebody emptying bags of cement in the in the room that he just wheeled that barrow from.
Just emptying them on the floor where we were supposed to be moving them.
Well, he just caught a glimpse of somebody. His wit saving throw wasn't good enough. But he caught a glimpse of what looked like somebody emptying a bag of cement in there.
So they're emptying cement from one bag into the pile, which we are then bagging up again.
They're emptying bags in the next room, wheeling the cement through, and you are then bagging it up.
I wonder if it's a little bit hot.
Of course it's hot. You've been shoveling cement all day.
Yes.
Okay, so you return. Well, when you finish the day's work, the river water isn't great, but it's better than it is downstream at the Etta village.
Yes.
So you jump in, wash it off, and then he's got buckets of water from the well, so you can kind of clean yourself off finally afterwards. But you can get yourself clean before you go back to the storehouse.
They don't leave any of these other bags lying about, do they, by accident?
Well, no, the door is opened. A wheelbarrow shut behind him. He empties it. He goes back, opens the door, takes the wheelbarrow through, closes the door behind him.
Okay, right, all right.
And they are trying to keep the operations on the far side of the door out of your view. Yes.
Yep, okay.
Can I have my 3 copper now?
When you get back, one shoe hands you each 3 copper.
Hey.
He's not sure whether Kyūryū... Well, he supposes if Kyūryū hadn't been sewing the bags up, then one of you lot would have had to do it, which would have meant less get filled. Okay, right, fine. He'll pay Kyūryū 3 copper as well. So if you add 3 copper to each of your things, I will add 3 to Kyūryū.
Done.
And I will knock 2 off him. And you're just settling down for your meal when somebody bangs on the door. Once you opens it, goes out, shuts the door.
I'm going to go listen at the door.
Okay. Wit saving throw to try and hear through the door.
No.
You can't hear anything through the door, which is hardly surprising. It is quite a thick door, security and all that. And Wanshu comes in and says, I've got work for you all tomorrow if you're interested. As long as you can keep your mouths shut.
It's not more moving cement, is it?
No. It's doing a job for a friend.
Moving cement.
No. It.
Is it a dishonourable?
He looks aghast that you would suggest such a thing.
You said we need to keep our mouths shut.
Well, his friend wants to make sure that you can keep your mouth shut, and he's willing to pay 5 copper apiece. There's not much work to do. It's mainly just being there.
I've been shoveling this cement powder all day. If I didn't keep my mouth shut, I'd be dead.
Well, in that case, you shouldn't have a problem earning the money.
So what's the job?
Just being there.
You mean acting as bodyguard?
No, not acting as bodyguards, just acting as bodies.
I don't see the difference in actual fact, but okay, for 5 copper, I'm in.
5
Yeah, so
copper.
we're just standing there, and then if anybody
Is it to
asks
stand
us
there
to
and look
move over,
tough?
then we're just gonna let them.
Well, you will have to do what you're told, but it shouldn't be much work, and there's no risk involved.
Do we have to stand there and look tough?
No.
Okay.
Busy, yes. Tough, no.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine then.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in.
will have to go tonight because you'll need to leave for the job before the gates open tomorrow morning. So if you finish that up, and we'll get you out the gates before sunset. So my friend's got somewhere for you to stay tonight, so you can leave early tomorrow morning before the gates open.
Okay.
Okay. He will, once you've finished your meal, he will take you to the western gate and out to the edge of the outer village, and into one of the buildings there, and there's a reasonably strong-looking guy there who asks Wanshu, "Are these the guys?" "Yep," says Wanshu, "they're reliable. Done some work for me and Uncle." "Yeah, well, they look okay. I don't know about him, though," he says, looking at Hayuga.
He's good at tying knots and string.
Well, he is kind of trained up as a scholar. He could kind of act as a tallyman. Yeah, I suppose so. That would free somebody up to... Yeah, okay, fine. All right. 5 each. Okay?
Yep.
Right. Okay, well, best get to sleep because we'll be up early tomorrow. We've got to head off to the quarry.
Okay.
You settle down for the night. Anybody going to attempt to pump him for information?
I think we're paid not to say anything, so I think that's a particularly bad idea.
Yeah.
Okey-doke.
I'm going to demonstrate that I can keep my mouth shut. Exactly.
Okay. Let me just move you back to the main map. Okay, so basically you are just outside the gates of the city of the west, and the following morning you are rousted out almost before dawn, and you head up the road to the north to about there, and then off a track to the northwest to about there, where there is a quarry. And you're handed over to a guy who you are told is the foreman. And you are told your duties, which is to, you two, go with this guy, do what he tells you. If one of the book come within 10 yards of you, on your knees, don't say anything. If spoken to, just say you work for so-and-so and you do what he says. All right?
Okay.
You two, you do the same for him. Looks at Hachiro. Looks at the guy who brought you. Really? Use him as a tallyman. Free one of the tallyman up. He can then... Yeah, okay, fine. Right. Okay. So, you with me. So he takes Hachiro off. The two guys that you have been given to take you two off. And basically, they tell you what to do. So, they have no compunction in telling you what's going on. Basically, they're managing the lords. The daimyo wants stone. He's given one of his samurai the job of managing the quarry, but every so often somebody decides that they want to check and make sure that production's going as fast as it could. There's only so many people you can use on a job like this, otherwise the rate of injury goes shooting up. So therefore, every so often, when one of them gets his knickers in a twist, we have to put on a show and show that we've got as many people as they think we should have here working to get the stone out.
Oh, all right. Okay, got you.
Okay? The samurai in charge of the quarry spends most of his day just drinking and talking with his buddies. But every so often, the The clerk to the daimyo tells us that there's a surprise inspection planned, and so we run a caper like this. All right?
Okay.
Okay. Wit saving throw, everybody.
Oof. It's a big fail from me.
Failed.
I hit mine on what my save is. HU.
You made it dead on.
Yep.
Do you want to roll for Hachiro as well? Somebody?
Yeah, shall I do it? I had bad luck with mine, hope for better luck with his. Nope, 11.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay. You have a relatively peaceful day, certainly compared with shoveling concrete. You're shown what you're expected to do, which in one case is hammer wedges into a channel in the rock and pour water over them. Hold the wedge while somebody hits it. Get your hand out of the way in time before the sledgehammer comes down. Blah 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 blah. And basically, during the day, there is a shout from the front of the quarry. Somebody goes running off towards the headman's hut. The samurai in charge of the quarry hastily appears, brushing himself down and making himself presentable. He then strides around the quarry and is obviously keeping a close eye on things when a group of a samurai rides up with a group of peasants behind him. Wanders around, looks at things from a distance, checks things, talks to the samurai, counts this, that, and the other, and then disappears off again. The samurai in charge of the quarry wanders around a little bit more, waits until there's no sign of them coming back again, then disappears back to the hut. And then you take it easy for the rest of the day.
Nice, this is a nice, easy day's work. So we are just making the place look like it's staffed like it should be, but it's not really. We're paid actors, we're extras.
Okay, and then you are taken back to Nobeoka and in through the gates and given 5 copper apiece.
Very nice.
And the guy who hands out the copper asks Hachiro if he's a priest. Unfortunately, Hachiro's not here. But he will say he's not a priest. He will inquire whether he's a wizard. What do you think Hachiro would say to that?
He's one of them, but does he say it?
He doesn't. The guy asking does not appear to be asking in a nasty manner. He appears to be asking for information.
I see no reason why you shouldn't admit
Yeah.
to Mr. Genji.
I'm not.
Yeah, I was thinking-
I'm not disclosing information about other party members, but
I think he would admit there's probably some skill in that area.
Okay, he will admit to some skill in the magical arts. At which point the guy will ask for a demonstration just to prove it.
at which point
And
the
he-
rest of us will look at him expectantly because we don't seen him do anything yet.
You probably have seen him do. He kind of creates a few glowing lights and a little ball of light on his hand, and then rubs his hand over it and it vanishes magically. And the guy then says he'll be along a little bit later to Wonshu. And Wonshu congratulates you on performing your duties today, and looks a little worried.
Looks worried.
trouble, Shugenju?
What he was asking Hachiro about being a Shugenja.
Who was
Well,
it, by the way?
hmm?
So,
Oh,
who was he?
it was a friend of mine. 1 second, let me just. Amakusa. He's well known on the docks. He works as one of the foreman for one of the merchant. Great guy. You could trust him to keep his word, get the job done. Very efficient.
Bushido was no dark mage, if that's what you're asking. He's no black magic evil guy, if that's why you're worried. It's not that kind
Oh
of...
no! Uncle wouldn't have him that. He wouldn't have sent anybody like that here to his nephew. Yeah, I trust Uncle.
So why the concern?
I'm just wondering why Amakusa wanted a Gakusha or a Shugenja. Not sure what's going on. When there's plenty of Gakusho in town.
Are there any Shugenja? That's the point.
Oh, I'm sure I wouldn't know. He says, I don't believe so. I think they're in the or there's a castle up north that they tend to congregate in.
So maybe he saw that our friend has the look of one, and he thinks maybe he could help him with something.
Or possibly, I think the daimyo employs them. Yeah, that's the daimyo's business. Yeah.
Do you happen to know the name of that castle?
I think it's called the Castle of the Flame.
The Castle of the Flame.
It's off in the wilds somewhere to the north, I believe. Yeah, only the wizards go there. They can deal with all the monsters and things, the demons in the woods and such like.
My eyes light up at monsters and demons, like. What's that you say?
Oh, demons from the mountains and the monsters in the woods. The Bakemono, the Oni.
Oh, the Oni. Tell me of the Oni.
Oh no, not when it's after the hours of darkness. In daylight, maybe. I'm not going to talk about the demons in darkness.
What's the Akimono?
Oh, the goblins.
Yeah.
Oh, they terrorize people. They do.
Where? Where are these people terrorized?
Oh, it's well known. Translated, everybody's heard. Okay, after about an hour, Amakusa returns and pulls one shoe outside again. They have a little chat. They both come in. And Amakusa says, we do have a little job that could use a Shugenja. But it is something you'd have to keep quiet about.
Is it something that would be a job for a Shugenja and his 4 companions?
I don't know. We would have to ask your opinion, he says to Hachiro. It's not something we're an expert in. I'm willing to pay you a shilling to do the job, a silver to do the job, and a silver to keep your mouth shut afterwards.
A silver each. We need a job.
No,
we need a job.
I'm willing to pay our Shugenja a silver to do the job and a silver to keep his mouth shut
silver
afterwards.
is 30 copper, right? So you're talking about
Correct.
60 copper.
Oh yeah,
which is
that's a lot of money.
15.
Yeah.
No, what is it? 7.5 each.
30 days pay for somebody on the docks.
12.5 each if we're 5 of us, isn't it?
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That
So
is
what is
pretty
it?
good.
1 day's work for 12.5 copper each.
No, 1 night's work.
1 night's work. This sounds alright. Am I right with my maths? It's 12.5
Yeah.
copper each, yeah?
12, won't it? It'd be 12.
12,
each.
sorry, yeah, 12.
Anybody strongly object to taking this job on?
Sounds fun.
As long as we're not dying because of it, yeah.
Ah. You want the bigger loot, you got to take a risk or two.
Yeah.
Suppose so. Just, prefer not to deal too much with the mystics.
Life is all about
Yeah,
testing
absolutely.
oneself to your limits.
I
Well, Amakusa would rather not be dealing with mystics, and somebody from out of town, probably better deal working with them than one of the priests from the
think
temple.
the consensus is that we will take your job.
Yeah.
Yep.
In that case-
we'll speak 4 hour. Remind me the word for mage again one more time.
Shugenja.
We'll speak 4 hour Shugenja in this instance, and say that we will take your job.
Well, it's only fair. I mean, we've been effectively subsidising him, haven't we? Doing doing the work, carrying him around. It's about time
The character's an NPC tonight. It's Flair didn't show up
it's about
tonight,
time he
so
pulled his weight a bit.
we get to make his decisions for him. Yeah, and it's about time he did some work as well. That's what it was. It wasn't that he had seen a Shugenja. He'd just seen somebody that was looking like he were needing more work.
I've got their hands dirty, as it
All his
were.
mates were busy. Look like that guy looks bored. We better find him a job.
Yeah,
Well,
this
he
man looks like he
obviously-
can take any job we give him.
He obviously looked educated when he was acting as a tallyman.
We could count. Yeah, good work.
Okay, so he will take you down the docks to the outside of a large.
Just say. Sorry, Richard, if you're watching this after we record this. We're just joking, man.
And he will take you in. And let me just move you to the warehouse.
We'll get a new map.
And let me just put your tokens on the map.
Oh, this is blackness.
So let's put those on the token there.
Ooh, look at this.
And then let's bring. Where are we?
Nice map, Dave.
Good. I'm glad you like it.
I do.
I prepared it just for you.
I always appreciate a good map.
I found it just for you.
Nice. I always appreciate a good map, and when somebody makes a good effort with a virtual tabletop experience when we're playing online, because there's a lot of games online these days, and it's very easy to run one that's not that great. And if you do a good virtual tabletop with good tokens and good maps for your players, it's a great big thing, and I always appreciate it. So you're appreciated, David. It's great stuff, man.
Okay, so he will bring you in through the double door and basically explain that this is a warehouse which is used for storing sake and plum brandy. But at the present moment, they can't. Because it's haunted. And they need somebody to get rid of the ghost. And he understands, he says, looking at the Shugenja, that Hachiro, that Shugenja are able to exorcise ghosts. Certainly priests are able to, but they'd like this done privately. As far as he knows, the ghost appears shortly before midnight and comes in through the door there, and then wanders up and then disappears, and then reappears. He hasn't seen himself, and he isn't planning to stay, but he understands that it wanders around and pokes at all the barrels and casks and so on. And the merchant, his boss, the merchant, wants it got rid of. So, if you would do it, as he said, silver in it for Hachiro, and another silver for keeping his mouth shut, and he'll pay the rest of you 5 copper each as well.
Ooh. +5.
All right.
Hold on. Hachiro will ask, does the ghost actually do anything other than walk up and down?
He doesn't know. He's not seen it. The report he had was it wanders around and kind of pokes at the various barrels. It's only here in the night, and it kind of disappears by daybreak. But the person who was here ran away when it appeared, saw it, and ran out, and it didn't attack him.
Does it spoil the brandy or anything like that?
Don't know.
Right.
Well, we haven't had anybody come in and work here, and because it's here, and the merchant wants it rid.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, now with after you told us all what the ghost is like, Ichijō, while he was beforehand quite apprehensive, it now seems to be extremely excited to get this job done. And he assures him that we will get this fixed, we will get it all done, we won't have any issues whatsoever.
Hachiro looks sideways at you.
I'll look at Hashiro and say, you've been getting the same pay as us for all these other jobs where you've just been tying sacks that we've been busting our asses lifting. You'll be splitting that 1 silver between all of us, and we'll be getting our 5 copper each. Don't you be getting any ideas, boy.
Hachiro keeps stum until Akusa leaves the building, and then turns and says, "It wasn't that, it's the fact I've never exorcised a ghost in my life." And here you are, promising that everything will go easily, we'll easily get the job done.
No, but this is probably just some hogwash anyway, we can just say we fixed it and leave.
Not good.
If somebody claims they've seen a ghost, it's likely they've seen a ghost.
So let's kick a ghost's butt.
Yeah, I mean, how difficult can it be?
Exactly.
Well, yeah, I mean,
there's 5 of
Well,
us.
when my master was teaching me the basics of being a Shugenja, he said it might kill me if it's a powerful ghost.
Yeah, but you've got 4 companions with you that carry you in everything you do. What do you think we're here for?
Yeah, they said this one was
Well,
just walking up and down. What can you do?
You can get between me and it can kill you first, certainly.
But
is there anything that we're going to be able to do to this ghost?
Yeah,
I doubt it.
we can be emotional support for Shiro.
It'll probably just scare us and pass through us, I assume.
I'm gonna jump on its head. I don't know what you're talking about. I'll kick its
It's
butt.
a ghost. It'll be insubstantial.
So,
I hope.
So will the
it-
challenge.
If it's substantial, it'll probably kill me, he says.
that's what
We
we're
won't allow
here
that to
for.
happen.
In that case, you'd best exorcise it first, hadn't you?
Yeah.
I'm gonna start looking at. So, Dave, can you put like an arrow where the route walks up and down on the map was, please?
You've had the description.
Yeah, but just so I can see again. So
It told you.
It comes in this door down here.
Let me get his name right. Amakusa told you. It comes in the door at the south.
This one here.
The grey one.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
walks up into the building, disappears, reappears, and then wanders around poking at
So
the
there's under
barrels.
these bits, yeah, okay. So, are these shelves?
Which shelves?
These things here in between the lines of barrels, are they shelves?
Those look like workbenches for
Workbenches, yeah, okay.
for cutting corks to fit and
So what's
measuring out sake and such like.
what would be the highest point then? On top of a barrel?
Probably.
I'm climbing some barrels, having a look around at what I can do, what
Okay.
my vantage points are.
Hachiro is getting out his writing case and jotting some notes down and trying to remember what it was he had to do to exorcise a ghost. It was one of the lessons he took.
I'm perched in the kung fu stance, crouched down, crouching tiger.
Ichijō would just be sat on one of the barrels looking lazy. Like, this is just, well, nothing he can do anyway, so we just let Hachiro handle this, free money.
He looks very grateful. You obviously have tremendous faith in his skill.
I mean,
He's-
of course, that's
he's supposed to be
his
able to do
profession
something,
or
right?
his training.
Right.
I mean, judging by his physical looks, he must have spent a lot of time, researching, knowing about these things.
Okay, so let me just double check precisely what he has to do. So, Shugenja. Okay. The Shugenja can seek to banish exorcisable spirits or supernatural monsters. All such creatures have a spirit rank, and the Hachiro's magic BCS will be reduced by that amount. And if he succeeds, then it reduces the ghost's rank by 1. So basically, each time he tries to exorcise, he's got magic BC, and that is reduced by the rank of the spirit. If he succeeds, the spirit's rank is reduced by 1. If he fails, well, he fails. But he can keep trying. It costs him 1 point each time he casts the spell, or rather tries to do the exorcism. And his power is 29. So in theory, he could try and exorcise it 29 times. But what the spirit will be doing in the meantime? Good question.
It's gonna get jumped on. Is there rafters? Can I get higher up? There will be in a big warehouse.
There are rafters, yes. You would probably have to stack some barrels higher to be able to reach the rafters.
No. I can climb.
Right, so what are you going to climb?
The wooden beams that are like holding up the sides of the building, like the structural.
Okay, so you're going to climb the wall of the building.
So like climb like this wall here to get up to the roof and then climb along the rafters to some point.
Okay, in that case, try making a climbing roll. Your BCS is 10.
I rolled a 6.
You successfully make it up to the rafter level. You are about 15 feet off the ground.
Nice.
Where does Hachiro want to position himself?
As far away from the ghost as possible. It's his initial reaction.
I'm just going to my Spider-Man pose now. I've not really got a plan, but it's up here. Whatever's happening, it's happening from up here.
Unfortunately, he has to be relatively close because it's a medium range spell. And let's see, what's his medium range? Right. Okay. He needs to be about within 10 yards of it. So I think he's probably going to suggest that he sets himself up on the corner. Where are we? Let's put myself on the right layer. If he sets himself up on the corner here, then 10 yards. Let's just measure 10 yards. Measure snapping. 10 yards would be 30 feet. So when it walks through the door, it would be within range. Okay. Oh dear.
Right. Question:
He's running through various. He gets a candle out and lights it, and he sets a little ball of flame on his hand and gestures several times, and makes a final gesture. And I think I remember. I think I've got it. What are the rest of you going to be doing?
Well, I was just going to ask, if I'm in the rafters, can I move around kind of the whole
How are you
roof of
going
the
to be
building?
between me and it if you're in the rafters?
And I'm going to drop down when the time is right. But I'm just wondering how much movement I've got around. Can I traverse around the whole thing, but at a reduced movement rate if I'm in the rafters? Have I got the whole roof to move around in?
The rafters run east-west.
Mm-hmm. How far apart? How many are there?
They're about 12 feet apart.
So 4 hexes apart.
Yep.
So if I've got one
So
here,
that-
there's
that
another
w-
one here, there's another one here, kind of thing.
So hang on a second.
Do you want to draw
So
some quick lines?
basically, so there's one there, one there, one there, one there, and so on. So it's that. So basically, if you assume there's one midway between the door and this wall, there's one here.
Yeah, there's one here.
And then there's one here, one here, and another one there.
Yeah.
So effectively, they are running across the width of the warehouse. So where do you want to be?
So, where's Hachiro going to be? He's going to be there.
Hachiro's going to be there. Yes.
So I think
there is a rafter here.
And the next one's here.
And there is a rafter here.
So
effectively, it runs along the top of this wall, and then spans across that gap.
I'm sitting in this rafter then.
So you're sitting. Well, you can't stay there because that goes all the way to the roof, rather. So the rafter is actually just there.
What, in the next line?
No, running across the gap from there to
okay.
there, from where you are to there.
So there isn't a full one there. There's
correct, because there's a wall.
There. Yeah. Okay, so I'm in that one then.
The one here and here run full width all the way across.
Yeah, so I'll just stay there then.
Okay. So Ichijō is going to stand there, yes?
Yep.
And the rest of you are where you're placed. Okay. Right. You position yourselves. And duly walking through the door comes a ghostly figure. It turns, does something, and turns back again. Then steps forward and forward. And disappears. Downwards.
Ah,
Like it went through the floor.
yeah. Hachiro, is this a problem?
I was halfway through that and it just vanished. What happened?
Well, You tell me.
I don't know. It seemed to disappear through the floor. I mean, Amakusa said that it kind of disappeared and then reappeared and started walking around.
I suppose we wait.
Is there a basement below us?
No. As far as you're aware, this is a warehouse situated over the docks.
So we wait for it to reappear.
Okay.
Yeah. Keep looking around.
About 3 minutes later, it reappears again, rising up through the floor, and then floats forward. And there is a difference. When it came through the door, it was walking. When it rises up through the floor, it's just floating above the floor. Doesn't appear to be walking. And Hachiro has reached a point of rolling a d20 to see whether he makes his magic BCS.
Someone else want to roll for him this time.
Would somebody care to roll a BCS?
Yeah, alright, I'll do it then.
Go on. You are leader of the party.
So you keep saying.
I don't.
Ooh, it's probably 10. Any good?
His magic BCS is Hachiro. Magic BCS is 10. Reduced by the level as the spirit rank of the ghost.
Oh.
It does nothing.
Does the ghost react?
The ghost does indeed react. It looks around. It doesn't appear to see anybody.
Not even Hachiro.
It kind of moves back towards the door, looks around, disappears through the wall. Damn, says Hachiro. I almost had it ready to go. Reappears through the wall. Ichijō and Hachiro get to make wit saving throws.
Hachiro said.
And Ichijō.
Hachiro and Ichijō. Yeah.
Alright, I'll roll for Hachiro.
I don't make my save.
A 7, that should make it, shouldn't it?
Okay. And Kinzo gets to make a wit saving throw, and you get +4 on your wit saving throw.
Nowhere near it.
There's something familiar about that figure, but you can't remember what it is. Hachiro is going to try to exorcise it once more.
Okay, want me to roll
Who wants to roll the dice this time?
I'll keep getting him killed, shall we?
Oh.
So he rolls 15, that's no good.
Okay. The ghost looks around again, and it's right next to Ichijō. It tries to grab Ichijō by the throat.
Whoa!
What's Ichijō doing? It's reaching for your throat.
Well, I'm trying to avoid him, but...
Okay. What skills are you using to try and avoid him?
I don't think I have any avoid skills.
Well, you can just back away from him.
Yeah.
Okay, move your character to back away from him then.
Go this direction.
How far back can I go?
Well, you can move back your BMA.
Okay.
Go past me, go this way. I'll jump on him. Yeah.
I can move it back here.
Okay, he kind of grabs for your throat and you back away from him, and then he starts moving off. And
Can I react at that point? Do I get a
yes,
reaction?
yes, you get a reaction. What do you wish to do?
Jump on its head.
Righty-ho. So you're trying to jump down 15 feet. Make a jumping roll.
Okay. 5.
You jump down successfully without taking damage. And you go straight through it. Can I have a deafness saving roll? Sorry, a speed saving throw to avoid rolling past it.
3.
You jump right on top of it and land on top of it, and you are now coexisting with it.
Oh, I don't like that. That's creepy.
It's cold and creepy, and can I have a will saving throw?
Come on, let's get another good one. 8. I don't think that does it. My will saving throw is 5, I think. Let me check. Will saving throw is 4.
You scream and roll and run in that direction. It was exceedingly creepy.
Oh, I didn't like that one bit.
And it didn't even notice. It's still following Ichijō.
Oh man.
Not only has it frightened you, it just treats you with disdain.
Oh.
I've got goodwill, I can resist, probably, maybe.
Hachiro has another attempt as Ichijō is backpedaling fiercely.
Okay. Go roll for Hayuga.
Get him, because
Oh!
Oh, come on! You need to get him. He's
Panicking,
immune
he's
to the
getting worse.
Spider-Man attack.
Well, that's panicking.
Okay, does it notice? No. It attempts to attack Ichijō.
Oh.
Ichijō, you have got ghostly hands wrapped round your throat. Make a will saving throw. Is that a successful will
That
saving
is
throw?
a success without modifier.
Nice.
In that case, you have ghostly hands wrapped round your throat and then go through it with no effect. It doesn't appear to be able to harm you.
Okay. Hachiro,
It's creepy, but it's trying to strangle you, but not appearing to do very much. Are you going to stand there and let it?
I suppose so, just looking at a stranger like Hachiro.
Keep it keep it distracted, says Hachiro. He stops. He concentrates. He attempts a key roll. Try rolling his key or less on a d20.
Okay.
His key is 2.
Oh.
No. But he has calmed himself down, and he attempts exorcism once more.
Let's go. Oh, come on.
Oh no.
Not
This
surprised.
was
He's never
supposed
done
to
it
be his
before.
moment. He's supposed to be good at something. This was supposed to be
I
it.
know, but he did say he's never done it before.
It notices this time, and it's going for Hachiro. Right.
Wait.
Well, Hachiro's not moving. He's going to have one last attempt at exorcism before it gets to him.
I'm rolling.
So.
I'm rolling this one.
Can I
Okay.
attempt to...
I was
Okay, you
rolling
can
some
roll
Going away
goodies
from me,
before.
can I attempt to strike him?
Oh no.
Nope. It gets to him and tries to grab him, and Hachiro gets to make a will saving.
Right, someone else.
Somebody roll Hachiro's will saving throw.
Somebody else have a go.
Not too much to roll for him anymore.
I'll do it.
His will saving throw is 9.
No.
Oh,
Hachiro screams and runs away. And the ghost is pursuing him.
Oh no.
Okay. So basically, for about the next few minutes, Hachiro is just trying to get away from the ghost before the terror fades, and he turns around and tries to exorcise it once more.
Who's rolling this time?
Who's rolling this time?
I'll let them do it again here.
Yeah, go on.
8.
Oh,
Who got
8.
the 8?
8 is a success.
Kyūryū!
yeah.
And the spirit winks out. It was only spirit rank 1.
It was immune to the Spider-Man.
Well done, Hachiro.
Well done, Ichijō. Took your
Does he
time
think
there.
he's dispelled
That
it?
was horrible!
That was
certainly was.
horrible.
I
Ugh.
mean, it was strange, but nothing.
I need
too
a
bad.
cold shower.
Well, yes. You were terrified by it.
Ugh.
Hachiro
It was
terrified
in
by
me. It was inside me.
Well, you did jump into it.
No, it was more you were in it.
Yeah, that's even worse.
Ichijō is just even more reinforcing this idea that these things are. I mean, they're kind of weird, but not that bad.
Okay. Hachiro will say that he's actually seen what that person was wearing before.
It's what, a uniform or something like.
Yes.
Oh,
Tell me.
Looking at it, it was a samurai, and he's wearing a sash of one of the customs inspectors.
And this is a warehouse.
Dave,
Yes.
I was trying to find if there's a hidden
And-
trapdoor where the
Where
ghost
it went
disappeared
down.
into the ground.
And I'm thinking straight away, this is the ghost of a murdered inspector. Because they've got dodgy shit going on here. This guy was inspecting the warehouse.
yeah.
What did you say-
Kinzo,
What did you say, tax
now,
inspector? What was it?
now Kochiro has actually mentioned it. You remember seeing customs agents
Customs agent,
wandering the docks and inspecting things and checking manifests and so on, and making sure the daimyo gets his.
And that's why we have to keep our mouth shut. Because they've murdered a customs agent here.
Right. As I said, I'm looking.
You are going to have a poke around, yes.
Yep.
Okay, you get to make a wit saving throw to try and spot a hidden trapdoor.
I'm looking with them.
Can I do so as well? Because I was interested in the fact that he floated through this wall over here. That could be something in that room.
Might just be where they lifted the floor up rather than there being a trapdoor, so have a good look, lads.
Can I look as well?
Failed by 3.
Okay,
Alright,
no,
got
you
it.
can't find anything. Hachiro will take your advice and he will have a look. Ichijō was looking for a trapdoor as well, was he?
Yeah, but it was a wit, right?
Wit saving throw, yeah.
Yeah, I just missed.
Okay, does somebody want to roll for Hachiro?
I'll roll. 7.
Hachiro's wit saving throw is 8.
Yes.
Faintly, you can make out the lines of a trapdoor, yes.
Gotta be cracking it open though.
It's possible to do so without breaking
Or
it.
we just keeping our mouth shut and taking the money.
I mean, they said to keep our mouth shut, not investigate for our own sake, right?
Well, that's a true
Even
statement.
if you open it and there's a body down there, what are you going to do? Or what remains of a body, what are you planning on doing with it?
And personally, I'd like to see what kind of things he's got on him.
I don't know if I want to go digging about for a dead body, like.
If
He's
you
already
list- if-
exercised.
We know what
if
they've
you-
done.
Well, when you have a look at, I mean, you have been wandering around the whole the warehouse, and there is actually a trap in the top left-hand corner. If you open that up, you will find that the whole warehouse is built on timbers over the river.
Is it actually water under us or just mud?
Correct. Water.
Under us. Right.
Yeah, I mean, we can theorize that he's down there, but
I think
personally, I don't feel like trudging for the waters.
Well, if he's been in the river for a while, he's either been carried away by the tide or he's probably been eaten.
That's what I'm thinking. If we look at this trapdoor here and it goes down to straight to water, straight underneath this trapdoor, then this is where they've just dropped the body, where it disappears down under the floor. Do you know what I mean? They may have just chucked the body down there and that's where it's went, but it'll not be there if it's downriver.
Well, even if it is on the bottom of the river, right there, I mean, who wants to swim down there and get it?
Well, Hachiro points out what happened when the ghost came in.
It's
Go down, didn't he?
The ghost appeared to come in through the doorway, turn and do something,
and then fall through the floor.
and then
killed
walk forward.
They've killed him with a trap.
And then fall through the floor.
They've killed him with a trap.
And then when he came up, he was floating rather than walking.
Aye.
Yeah.
Aye. So they've put a trap in the floor. This tax inspector, sorry, good customs guy, has came in. They've murdered him by dropping him through the floor. Have a look at this.
I feel like we're theorizing quite a bit about seeing a body.
Where's your evidence?
Let's see this now. What way does this trapdoor? Does it open down the way? Is it like an opposite trapdoor that opens down the way? So like the trap you step on it and it goes.
Well, Hachiro has spotted a very faint outline which looks like it could be a trapdoor, but you can't figure out how it works.
Right, but does it lift
None
up
of you are experts in that sort of thing.
Because if it pushes down rather than lifts up, then it's a death trap.
Well, let's put it this way. You lot have all walked over it without a problem. Without the floor giving at all.
Yeah, true.
It's not armed at the moment.
It's not armed, yeah.
Well, we could just keep our mouths shut, as we were told and as we were paid, but just keep this on the back burner in case we ever need something to hold against this guy.
To hold against this guy, but yeah, we're thinking get paid and then decide if we're ever keeping our mouth shut. Get paid and then decide, I was thinking, anyway.
I mean, with the amount of money we're getting paid for, well, what seems to be a generally quite easy job, I feel like we want to keep this guy.
Easy, says Hachiro.
Yeah, but we're also covering up a murder now.
You just waved your arms around a bit and ran off.
Yeah, I mean, this guy didn't. He tried to grab me, and didn't do anything.
But we're now knowingly covering up a murder. We know there's a murder, and we're saying nothing.
Yes.
No, we don't know there's a murder. There's no body.
Yeah, we do. Come on.
Pretty good.
We just worked it out, like.
But where's the evidence?
Yeah, there's no body. And there's no ghost anymore, so...
But there may
You've just got rid of the evidence.
There may be a body, but I don't want to find out. Let's just get the money and have nothing more to do with this. If these guys ever try and pull some bullshit on us, we've got this over their heads.
As long as we don't spend too much time before we make use of it, otherwise this body might be long gone.
Well, Hachiro, have any idea how long this ghost's been roaming around?
You have as much idea as he has.
So, okay, fair enough. I don't know what he can
This
do.
is the first ghost he's seen.
I guess it's a recent problem.
Possibly when he'd seen a few more ghosts, he might be able to tell their age a little bit better.
If it wasn't a recent problem, they'd have had somebody in from somewhere to sort it out before this. So this has been a recent murder.
Yes, that's not most likely.
So
anyway, you did a good job, Hachiro.
So ear to the ground about customs officers that have been murdered.
He pats his fevered brow. You know, this is a difficult job. You know, being a. It's very risky, especially when other people do my roles for me. Okay. Shortly before dawn, the door will open and Amakusa will... any luck?
Your problem is resolved.
It's just done.
Yep.
Breathes a sigh of relief. The boss will be very happy. Right. Walks in. pulls out the money, hands Hachiro 2 silver and 5 copper to each of you, and escorts you out, thanking you for a good job well done, and he will commend you to Wonshu.
Are we gonna? Nah. I'm saying nothing. I was gonna say are we asking how much more we're getting for hush money, because we know what they did, but I'm not gonna rock the boat.
No.
That's just gonna ruin our reputation with them.
Yeah, we know what they've done though, the fucks.
They might decide to get rid of us.
Yeah, do the same to us. Exactly. Mouth shut, I think.
We don't know how many men they can muster up.
Yeah, I mean, do we know that this was a bad guy though?
But
maybe he was like a bandit.
Hachiro needs to take that 2 silvers into coppers because he's splitting that up. He can't split the 2 silvers between the 5 of us.
Well, whoever's managing the party fund, add the 2 silver and the 5 copper each to the party
Put it on
fund.
the list.
Yeah, just do
Put
that.
it on the lists.
Throw it in there, so.
Where are we? Loot.
2 silver
Okay.
and 20 copper.
2 silver and 20 copper, yeah.
Does Hachiro get any Shugendo for that?
Yes, he does.
Nice.
And Kyūryū,
Mhm.
you lose 1 on.
I lose 1 on.
Yes.
I lose 1 on.
Yes.
For what?
Running away from a ghost, which was harmless.
I don't know. Do I need to update that on my sheet, yeah?
Yes, you
Right.
lose 1 on.
Where is it on? It's there. So I'm down to 19 on.
Yep.
Oh, that sucks. I lost an on.
Do I get anything for assisting it?
Backing away from the ghost, standing there while it kind of stuck its hands round your neck. No, it was a feeble ghost. It couldn't do anything to anybody apart from make them slightly afraid for a little while. Hachiro lost a bit of on for running away from, but gained a little bit for finally defeating it. So he balances out.
It was only
He is very grateful that it was a weedy spirit. If it had been any sort of any more powerful a ghost, it could have killed you all.
It was only these guys that saw me run away. Like, it's not my global reputation. That's only these guys.
Well, it does affect your self-esteem.
Yeah.
Saw you.
Yeah.
Yeah?
It doesn't reduce your status though.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. Got it. Yeah, I understand.
Okay,
mechanic.
so you return to the warehouse. Wonshu is glad to see that you're back uninjured and unharmed. He hopes the job went okay.
Naturally.
Good. I would suggest it's probably best if you don't try and do a day's work today, Kinzo, because quite frankly, without a night's sleep, you're not going to be up to it.
Well, I wasn't intending to.
Good. Okay, the uncle's nephew will tell you that yes, the ship is docking tomorrow. It was supposed to dock yesterday, but it didn't, so it's docking tomorrow. So once the goods are unloaded, day after tomorrow, you can take a load back to Uncle.
Back down
Please.
the road to Uncle.
Yep.
Okay. So, guys, have we just put all that money just going into the party loot for now, and we'll work on it later?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Sounds good to
Probably
me as
best.
well.
Dave?
Yep.
Are we buying travellers' rations by singles or by packs?
You can buy a pack of 10 if you want.
So the price. What I'm asking is the price on the equipment list is for a single item?
Single item. It's one copper per day. Per day's
2
rations.
copper in Nobeoka.
Well, of course. That's why nobody buys them in Nobeoka. Because they go out to
isn't
one
a
of the
copper-
villages.
Isn't a copper a day's wages?
Yes.
And it costs you 1 copper for a day's rations?
Yep. A copper feeds a man for a day.
Yeah.
Wages for a porter on the dock are 2 coppers a day.
Yeah. So we've got
Portering isn't a job that normally pays.
You have to be
man to
making
have a
1
family.
copper a day to be breaking even after food.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Rough. Working minimum wage.
Yes.
Talk about bread line.
Oh yes.
It's the bread and rice and fish line.
Well, that's why the art of the fisherman is quantities of food, and can't you, Ichijō?
Oh yeah, I'm a massive fisherman.
Okay, so the ship is docking today and will be unloaded today. You can rest up today and tonight. I mean, if you want to have a wander around the town today, you can. But
the thing is, there's not much we can do in one of those schools of training in a day, is there?
no, you need a full week's training.
You need a week's training to do anything.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
If we've got 1 day, I can just fish for a bit.
Yeah, you could do some fishing. I could cook some of the fish any of the fish that we have in the sense, cook it as in like salt it, preserve it. Does my cooking skill apply to things like preserving and salting, things like that, Dave?
Yes, but you need the appropriate equipment. A normal charcoal grill isn't what you'd use for smoking fish.
No, salting fish. I could get some salt and salt it.
If you had pots to salt it in, yes.
Right, well that would be something
you
I
have
might
furoshiki
invest in.
sacks.
So, let's say, for my time in the town then, I'm going to invest in some... Can we... I know this is a very rules crunchy game. Are we going into the exact mechanics of what utensils, or can we say I'm getting a cooking and preserving and preparing food pack? Can you just give me a price for a bunch of pans, a bunch of utensils, and like a pack of stuff? Or do you want me to go right into
it's
each
not
item?
something that you would normally... cooking is preparing a nutritious meal from ingredients, and that includes smoked and salted fish. Salting fish and smoking meat are parts of the skills of hunting and fishing.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, what about pickling?
Pickling is normally vegetables and fruits.
Yeah, so I just want to do something extra with preserving food so that we can make food that lasts longer. We can have like long-lasting rations. I want to do something with pickling or salting, some sort of preservation.
Lots heavier to carry around because it's going to be in an earthenware jar.
But you said before that I could use
your fish and rice is basically dried and in rice paper packages, so it's minimal weight.
Yeah, I was just trying to think of cool, interesting things to do with my very limited at this time skill set.
Not a lot.
No, there isn't much. So I guess I'll just take a day. I will go around the town this day, and I guess just take in the sights. Maybe
you are impressed. I mean, so far you've only seen the docks. So you go and see the big city, and you admire the fortification works that are being put up, and the cement and mortar that's being mixed up, and
are there any beggars in the streets in the busy areas?
Yeah, there are 2 beggars, but they tend to be in out of the way places. They keep out of the way of the guards. Okay. Can I have a wit saving throw from you, please?
Yes, you can. Oofed. 17.
Fair enough. Okay. But you are really impressed with.
Really impressed.
Main temple and the main shrine. They are truly magnificent. The Buddhist temple is. Oh, if you could learn your Bushido there, you would be honoured.
I'm going to take 2 copper and buy 2 days worth of food and take it to the 2 beggars and give them a day's worth of food each.
That will cost you 4 copper.
Okay.
Because if you bought it in one of the villages outside, it's a lot cheaper.
We're here, yeah. No
because
problem.
you're in the town.
I will spend 4 copper for 2 days worth of food. Give 1 to one beggar and 1 to another beggar.
They thank you appropriately.
Okay. That's me for the day. Taking in the sights and feeding a couple of hungry people.
Jolly good. Very well. Knock another day's food. Ichijō is again.
Yeah, Ichijō will just be fishing for a bit, see what he can catch today.
Okay, roll your BCS. Same deal as last time.
Yeah, that is a success.
So that's 5 effect numbers. Roll 2d3.
That's better.
Whoa, 10 fish. So you hand one over to the 4 dock, and you return with 9 fish.
Nice.
So 4 of you don't need to knock off a ration. You have fresh fish today.
Can I take a share of the fresh fish and go trade it at the market for some dried seaweed and some nuts?
You can.
Just something else that's not fish. It could be something plain. I just want to eat something that doesn't have a face.
Okay, and let's just check. Well, you'll have to ask Ichijō. It's his fish.
Well, was he giving us all a share of it? Sorry, I just assumed that.
Yeah, I will be giving everyone at least one to eat for the day.
Do you mind if I trade my share of it instead of eating it, Ichijō?
Yes, I wouldn't mind. I mean, there's plenty of water to go around, plenty of fish to fish.
I appreciate that.
Okay, you venture into the market, and you try to go from stall to stall, offering the traders your fish for some vegetables.
Yeah, for something else.
And let's see, you make a... Okay, so you don't have any skill in merchanting, etc. So I think the closest is probably going to be trying to talk to them about cooking. So try making a cooking BCS and see how effective you are.
Somebody's going to rip me off. I'm just not getting any interest.
Well, there's fishermen actually selling their produce in their fishing stalls, and you're just wandering around trying to barter with a fish for some food, and you look a bit dodgy. So, no. You return empty-handed. Well, with your fish. And the fish will keep overnight, so you can... Tomorrow.
No,
you can't, but the others can.
No, I'm not going to. I am going to return to the beggars with my share of the fish and give them it also.
Okay, they thank you again. They wish the blessings of the Buddha upon you.
I'll live in rice for a couple of days.
Very well. You return to the warehouse. Sorry, the storehouse rather, and
Ichijō might ask what he managed to buy.
Oh, do you want to put us back on that map?
Oh, sorry, yeah, my apologies. Let's move you back to the storehouse. There we go. And you talk with everybody about what you saw. And Ichijō and Hachiro both get to make wit savings.
Nope.
Somebody roll for Hachiro?
No.
Not on a 19, no. Okay. Jolly good. One shoe pops in and tells you that yes, they've offloaded most of the goods. He's busy sorting out packs, and he'll have them ready for you for tomorrow. £20 a piece, okay?
Yeah, we can manage 20 each, yeah.
Sounds good.
He looks at Chiro. £20 okay?
I think he can manage 10.
Not okay. Not okay.
£25 a piece, okay?
Yeah, go on then.
Yeah, I mean, I can carry 30 if he can't carry 10.
I'm quite strong as well. I think I can manage a bit more as well.
Okay.
At what point does Hachiro want to spend some time learning his spell?
When he gets a week to himself.
Yes, I'm saying, does he want to stay here, take that week here while we carry on?
Well, he'd like to know what your plans are. Because you haven't really discussed plans apart from kind of you brought a load up here and taking a load back for to Uncle. Are you planning on coming back to Nobeoka?
I know. I've got a plan.
What do people think?
I'm going to fight goblins in the woods. I don't know if you guys are coming with me. But when somebody said there was goblins in the woods, I was like, ooh.
I mean, if we're fighting goblins in the woods, I'd like to do it on behalf of somebody, not just doing it for free.
We're doing it on behalf of the people that they terrorise. We're saving the good people.
Kyūryū, when he was talking about goblins in the woods, it's a bit like the people in the western towns saying that there's Indians in them hills, and there's bandits in that dry gulch outside town. Everybody knows that.
I mean, yeah, Ichijō, at the very least, he would want to, after finishing this job, go back to this town here to possibly ask for another tutor.
I mean, but the thing is, yeah, once we take this back to Uncle, if we then head back up to Nobeoka, we've got a bit of money. We could spend a week there. Hashiro can do his... He can do his scholarly training, and we can all get a week doing some training in something that we all want to do, because they had everything there. So maybe, yeah, we do that. Maybe we go spend a week up at Nobeoka after this job. What do you think of that?
Well, you got to bear in mind
that's
it might not be a week. Hachiro might take longer than a week.
Well,
I mean, we're gonna take a couple of days to do this as well, so it's gonna be.
Yeah. So we take longer than a week. We've got a little bit of money now. We could take a bit of time and do some training. And I mean, that's works for me. And then take on a job. Do some training before we take on another big job.
Well, we could always see whether or not Lord Kanawa's garrison would give us a bit more training.
Yeah, I mean, martial training, martial arts training.
I mean, they'd certainly probably be happy to train us in the Bugai we've learnt, says Hachiro.
So I'm quite interested in learning a longer ranged weapon as well, like perhaps getting some sort of basic skill in spear, because I don't have anything long. No.
Spear's very, very overrated weapon.
No. I want to stick with the short range weapon. So, what do I have to do to learn shurikens, throwing stars? What's the skill I need for that?
Shuriken Jutsu.
And was there any classes on Shuriken Jutsu? Do you remember?
Next week?
Yeah.
1 second.
Because that's what I could learn. If not, I can just work on something else that I've got ready, but I want to learn the Shuriken.
Right, so next week, Shuriken Jutsu. So classes in Butsudo, Shinten, Jitsujutsu, Chikujo Jutsu, School of Wood, Karma Jutsu, Hiragana, Meditation, Chinese Classics, Boya, Bajutsu, Temiwaza, Prana Yoga, Sojutsu, Kyūryū, Karma Jutsu, and Jojutsu.
No.
So nothing in Shuriken Jutsu. but you could always ask them to teach a class if there's a free master who's available.
Yeah, and if
Is
not,
willing to teach a class.
I can go just work on. There was a Temiwaza classes, I remember that, and there was a Jujutsu class as well, wasn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what's Karumi Jutsu?
Karumi Jutsu is leaping.
Yeah, so was there any in that? Because that's something that
Nope.
meant as well. There wasn't. Right, okay, but there was a Temiwaza, and I can try and convince him to do a Shuriken Jutsu one. Okay. That's my fun.
Okay, so you're proposing to take a load down to Uncle, then come back to Nobeoka, correct?
Yeah, well maybe Uncle's got a load to come back up as well, so we might get a paid journey up the road as well.
Possibly.
Likely, yeah.
He'll probably pay us peanuts, but...
Well, nephew, you've worked quite well for nephew. He'd be happy. 4 copper apiece to take this down to Uncle. All right. 6 copper apiece to take this down to Uncle.
Was it 1 day's travel? Is it?
It's 2 days travel, effectively.
2 days travel, so that's 3 copper a day.
It's a bit suspiciously generous.
Isn't it? I bite his hand off.
Doesn't sound like the one shoe that we know.
No, I'm biting his hand off for it, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that would be fine though. I mean, we went on the road just a couple of days ago and it was mostly alright.
Yeah, it was just a few bandits. We kicked their butts. We can do that again.
Yeah. Should be able to do it again. I mean, it's not like the Ichijō was a huge help the first time. Sorry.
He's a Ghostbuster now, though.
Yeah.
He goes and sits in the corner looking. One of these days, you'll truly appreciate his ability.
Kyūryū just starts doing some push-ups and looking over at him.
Okay, so you settle down for the night. You eat your fresh fish and your rice. And the following day dawns. And he has 4 25-pound packs for you to carry. So.
And does he pay us 6 copper now?
He will pay you 3 each now, and Uncle will give you.
Okay, so
okay.
I have 3 in my sheet.
So what's your BMAs with an extra 20 goods to carry?
Okay, so we'll go equipment, trainer equipment, and just add goods.
Well, if you go under miscellaneous items at the bottom, just add, and then in the weight, put 25, and then an X in the carried column.
Partially encumbered, sir.
Yeah, partially.
I'm just trying to find miscellaneous.
Down below.
Yeah. So you just add it in. Goods.
Yep, just put goods, and then put 25 in the S.
Column S, yep.
So we're all carrying 25.
Yep. Well, basically, he's divided up the £20 Ichijō was supposed to be carrying. And that's £5 for each. So
where will I find my base movement now?
You need to put an X in the carried column. So column V.
Yeah, let you all know that I can carry 5 more from one of you if you're over encumbered.
And so, if you change status of your own baggage so that it's actually carried, you'll see what your encumbrance is.
BMA is down to 5.
Okay, so everybody's BMA is down to 5. Which basically means on the Saikaido, you can travel 10 rai a day.
And still 2 days.
So,
we're only travelling 6.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to get to Connor. 8, 9, 10. You can actually make it in one day.
Huh.
The reason you were slowed down before was because of Hachiro.
So if we do it at that rate, we can get paid 6 copper for 1 day's work.
Exactly.
Happy days.
Have you left
doing this over here?
Nobeoka then?
You've left Hachiro in Nobeoka. He's staying at the...
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. And Uncle is pleased to see you. He inquires of the health of his nephew. Going well. He's doing well in the big city.
Yeah, he's a Ghostbuster now.
He looks somewhat confused.
Vanquisher of spirits.
What? My nephew's vanquishing spirits? I can't believe that he never showed any signs of ability. What's he been doing? Please tell me more. Sit down, have some tea. What's he been doing?
Well, he's asking more specifically about the...
Well, you've told him that his nephew has been vanquishing spirits. Tell him about it.
Well, I'm just
My
checking.
colleague has slightly confused you. It's not your cousin was dispelled the ghost, it's our colleague.
Yeah, I'm just checking whose uncle is his uncle. It's not he's not Hashiro's uncle. He's Ichijō's uncle, isn't he?
No, Uncle is the merchant in Hanamishisu.
But is
His nephew is Wonshu, the
Wonshu.
guy on guy on the docks in Nobeoka.
Oh, Wonshu's doing great. He's got a great little business going over there.
So you got things confused. So you didn't actually say that his nephew
Was a Ghostbuster? No, sorry.
Right.
I
Just
thought he
as
was
well.
Hashiro's actual uncle. Sorry.
So you were ignoring your agreement to keep your mouth shut just because you thought he was his uncle.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that.
I mean, saying we got rid of the ghost is not that bad.
No,
What were you paid to do?
No, I'm not. Yeah, keep my mouth shut. No, I'm not saying it
Exactly.
because this isn't Hachiro's uncle. I'd gotten confused and thought that uncle was also Hachiro's uncle, and we were just everybody called him
He's
uncle.
everybody's uncle, really. He loves everybody.
But he's Wonshu's actual
Yes.
uncle, isn't he?
Yes.
So no, I didn't say your nephew's a Ghostbuster. No.
Okay, then, yeah.
Okay. So you make it to Uncle. You hand over the goods, and he is relieved to see you back and his goods in good shape. Let me just.
Another 3
Oh,
copper.
yes. He reads the note and he pays you the other 3 copper each.
Hey.
Thank you.
What was his exchange rate again for coins? Because I'm getting a bit heavy on coins.
Oh, he'd be happy to exchange them for you.
What was his rate?
Well,
bastard.
Well, no. He'll exchange copper for silver, and he'll charge you one of the lower coin for each of the upper coins. So he'll change you 31 copper for 1 silver.
For a silver, yeah, right. Okay, that's not too bad. Right then, in that case.
No, he thinks it's a very good deal.
In that case, can I trade in 31 silver for a gold? Nah.
He'd be quite happy to give you trade in 31 silver for gold.
Nah. I'll trade in 31 copper for a silver, though.
Yeah, he's happy with that.
Okay.
I shall buy 10 sets of rations off him.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
He'd be quite happy to sell them to you at 2 copper. Two. Is it 2 copper?
1 copper each.
1 copper apiece? Yeah, 1 copper apiece, yes.
Just to let you goods off you.
See, that's why I didn't buy them in Nobeoka.
Of course.
I'm also buying rations.
Tight gits, aren't we?
So, When I buy rations instead of fish, can I assume it's carrots and
Correct.
and broccolis and stuff?
It is appropriate sustenance.
Cool.
Yes.
I'm putting my
Also, we'll
7
divvy up the
70
8
down.
rations we've got in party loot to 2 each.
Alright,
Okay.
so I'm up to 9 then. I'm not going to buy any, I've got 9, I'm fine.
Yeah, I've got 8 right now. Or after this day, I would have 7, but.
I'm going to buy 5, just in case we do get stuck out for a wee while. So what is it, 5 copper for 5?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. I have bought some rations.
So you add just extras in. So I'm just writing down the notes for the campaign. So you exorcised the ghost on 10 Mitsuki, and then you rested on 11 Mitsuki, and then you travelled back to Nobeoka, to Hanamishisu Mitsuki.
So that's us over a full game week into the game, isn't we?
Yes, 12 days gone so far. And your pass is valid, so you've got 2 more days validity on your pass.
Sounds perfect for going back to Nobeoka.
Yep.
So you...
Let's see if Uncle's got
Cliffy
a
has
job.
any goods to go back?
Yeah, let's see if he's got a run for Nobeoka.
Let's see whether or not he has. Not much of one. I've got about £7 of stuff to go back. It's not hardly worth sending it. It's even a pack's worth, really, is it? I suppose I might be able to knock something up. Okay, I could put together a pack load to go back. So I'd be willing to pay you 3 copper to take it back from me.
Okie dokie.
Yep.
Okay, which of you wants to carry it and get the 3 copper?
Yeah, how much weight is it?
I can put together a I mean, it's not much needs to go up to my nephew at the moment. You took most of it up before. But £15. So I'll give one of you 3 coppers to take it up there.
Yeah, I'll gladly just take that right off.
Okay. I'll have it here for you tomorrow morning.
Alright.
Okay. So, are you going to go and visit?
You're going to go and visit what?
Are you going to go and visit your families again? They basically don't have accommodation, but you might be able to scrounge a meal off your mum.
I should go to my parents' house and tell them I'm leaving for Nobeoka in the morning and I may not be back for some time.
Oh, your mum wishes you well in the... Your father tells you to do the family honour in your deeds, and you gather around the family shrine to pray to your ancestors for their blessing on your adventures and your future in the world.
Kyūryū doesn't have a family. He will go and spend some time with some of the local beggars in Hanamishisu
Well, there aren't any beggars in Hanamishisu.
No.
And half the population is actually off at the temple.
So who's the poorest?
Working with Oyasumi.
Like, who's the poorest people in the population here, or who's the most vulnerable?
Probably the Etta in the village down the river.
Ah, okay. So maybe he'll. It's a bit down the river, though, isn't it?
No, they're Etta. They're untouchable.
Just trying to think who to go and see. He doesn't have a family.
He does. Anyway, it is actually the start of the Buddhist festival of Higan. It's 3 days to the spring equinox, and Higan is being celebrated to ask the blessings of the Buddha on the harvest festival on the equinox. So if you wish to pop along to the Temple of the Great Waters, Oyasumi would be glad to see you.
That's what I'll do. We'll go to see Oyasumi at the Temple of the Great Waters.
Oh, he welcomes you back.
And pray. Meditate.
So what was the religion they had over there at the temple?
Sorry, what?
At the temple, what kind of a religion did they have?
Buddhist. It's a Buddhist temple.
They were Buddhist, yeah.
It's Oyasumi is the abbot. He's be happy to teach you some. Let's see. This is week 2. He is actually busy this week getting ready for the spring equinox.
I'll say my goodbyes with Oyasumi and say we're off. And we may not be back for a while.
Oh, he wishes you well. Blessings of the Buddha upon you all. You're going to be staying for. Are you going to be staying for the equinox festival?
We're leaving in the morning.
Such a shame you'll miss it. Although, if you are in Nobeoka, you could attend at the Great Temple there.
Of course, yes. That's where we're going.
Oh. He's always enjoyed his visits there. Truly restful place. The abbot is a one.
It's a wondrous place, so it's a sight to behold.
Oh, yes, indeed. But his little temple has its own quirks and its own peace in the waters of the valley.
Oh, of course.
Okay, in that case, if you're not going to your family's for a meal, then you can stay at the inn. The innkeeper will only charge you 2 copper for the night with a meal thrown in.
But we're still taking the day's rations off for the road.
No. Basically, it only took a day and you arrived in the village.
In time.
So you can stay at the inn for the night. So it'll be 2 copper to stay at the inn and have a meal.
Okay.
And you don't have to take any rations off.
Okay, so just take 2 copper off.
In actual fact, if Ichijō hands over his 4 fish you had left over.
When I hand those over to be traded.
Okay. He'll refund you 2 copper.
But no, I mean, I thought I did that in Nobeoka.
No, you caught 10 fish. You gave 1 to the foreman. You ate. You used 5. You had 4 left over.
Okay, yeah, I thought. No, okay, never mind then. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, then I can just well, if I can trade those in for a nice sleep and some food, then that works for me.
Yes, he won't charge you to stay at the inn and won't charge you for the food.
Perfect.
Because those are freshwater fish you caught in the river, rather than the you normally get from the fishermen in the village. So a little bit of a delicacy. And the following morning dawns. Well, it's actually. There's dark storm clouds and a strong northerly breeze. It looks like it's going to rain tomorrow. So, but it should be good today. And you should be able to make it all the way back to Nobeoka.
We're in the 13th of Mitsuki now.
This will be the 13th Mitsuki. And do you make it safely to Nobeoka? Yes! Nothing else disturbs you on your journey, and you can make it safely back to Nobeoka.
Nice.
Perfect.
And you hand over the pack to Wonshu?
Yeah, hand over the pack. I believe it was 3 copper for bringing that over.
Correct. And he stashes it in the back room, and welcomes you back to town. What are you planning on doing in town?
See if we can get ourselves some training done.
Yeah,
See what we can find.
Studying.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're in the second week of Mutsuki, so you can always pop over and see what's going to be available next week. There is a big Buddhist festival tomorrow, Kigen, for the equinox. All the fishermen will be attending.
Do we have to wait until the start of a new week for classes to start in order to get a week's training? We can't just jump in and do a week's training.
Well, if you
wait till the 20th.
if you want to do a normal class, yes, because those are scheduled 3 to a month.
Yeah, got you. Okay.
So you can either join a standard class, or you can persuade one of the teachers who's free to start a new class. If you persuade somebody to give you personal tuition, then they will start whenever that begins.
That's what I think we're going to aim to do. Obviously, we'll need to pay more for that, but that's what.
Oh, yes, you will.
Yes, that's my aim then, is to find some personal tuition in Shurikujutsu, if possible.
I think it might be an idea if we discuss the potential costs of that before you progress it.
Mm-hmm.
And now that you're back in Nobeoka, I think that's probably a good time to call it a night. What does everybody think?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think so.
Any last questions for the evening?
No. I'm going to call the episode Nobeoka, I think.
I thought you might call it Ghost Chasers Party.
No, spoilers. Can't do spoilers in the title.
Ain't afraid of no ghost. That's, yeah.
Very good, David.
Okay.
Thank you. Another fantastic game.
And you, gents, that's a good session.
I love it. I'm so immersed in the Japanese. I'm even starting to say the Japanese words and starting to remember some of them now. I'm absolutely loving it, guys. This is great fun.
Everybody say after me, Hanamishisu.
Hanamishisu.
There you are. Rolls off the tongue.
Hanamishisu. Hi, thanks, David. Thanks, guys. It was another great game.
Really enjoyed it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you all very much.